The House's leadership void may soon be filled. Congressman Paul Ryan has agreed to run for Speaker, but only on his terms.
Ryan would take John Boehner's place and be the most senior Republican in America. Nancy Cordes has more on what Ryan is demanding before stepping up to the plate.
What I told members is, if you can agree to these requests, and if I can truly be a unifying figure, then I will gladly serve.
Ryan laid out his requests first for House Republicans and then for the press, starting with a call for the GOP to start focusing on solutions.
We need to move from an opposition party to being a proposition party.
Then he said the House rulebook must be changed.
And it needs to include fixes that ensure that we do not experience constant leadership challenges and crises.
The last request was personal.
I cannot and I will not give up my family time. I may not be on the road as often as previous speakers, but I pledge to try and make up for it with more time communicating our vision, our message.
Most House Republicans were happy to oblige after begging the father of three to take the job.
There was overwhelming applause. I didn't see anyone booing.
One candidate in the Speaker's race promptly dropped out.
Yeah, I'm out and I'm in with Paul. He's the right person at the right time.
Ryan's unusual approach is a reflection of his strong leverage. As a conservative who's also cut deals with Democrats, he's seen as one of the only people who can unite his fractured party after hardliners threatened to force out the current Speaker, John Boehner, and doomed his replacement, Kevin McCarthy. Ryan warned them, as Speaker, he would work with the other side.
My greatest worry is the consequence of not stepping up. Of someday having my own kids ask me, when the stakes were so high, why didn't you do all you could do? Why didn't you stand and fight for my future when you had a chance to do so?
Congressional correspondent Nancy Cordes joins us now. Hey, Nancy.
Hey, Vlad.
Now that Paul Ryan has agreed to run, what is next for Republicans?
Well, now all Republicans, and really by all Republicans I mean this group of 40 or so hardline conservatives, because the rest are pretty much already behind him, need to decide whether they're going to back him, and they need to decide pretty soon because he says he wants an answer by Friday. The challenge for these hardliners is going to be that he's saying a lot of things that they like. He's saying that he wants to be a more strategic speaker. He's saying he wants to be a better communicator about the conservative vision. He's clearly showing that he's willing to play some hardball tactics because he's using them on them. On the other hand, he's saying, not only am I not going to acquiesce to your demands in exchange for your support, but I've got my own demands that you need to meet. And that's already not playing very well with some of them who saw this speaker's race as possibly their best leverage to get some rules changes in the House that would give them a bigger say in the process.
So Jason Chaffetz has already said that he's going to be out of the race. He will back Paul Ryan. Then right. Who's left? Who will Ryan be actually running against?
There's one candidate left. It's Daniel Webster. He's a conservative Republican from Florida. He's one of this group of 40 members of the House Freedom Caucus, and they have already pledged to back him. So it's a bit complicated here. Basically, what they would need to say is, we're still going to back Webster in our vote in the House conference, because what happens is first all the House Republicans get together and vote behind closed doors. But if Webster doesn't win, which if he's going up against Ryan, he clearly won't, then we will agree to back Paul Ryan as our speaker on the House floor. Traditionally, this is what always happens. House Republicans or House Democrats, if they're in the majority, they have a vote behind closed doors. Whoever wins, that's the person they back, unanimously or near unanimously. It's only now that we're in this situation where a group of Republicans are saying, if we don't get the guy we want, we're going to withhold our support from anybody else. And that's why we are really in limbo here if Paul Ryan doesn't take the job, because there isn't anyone out there in the Republican Party who's going to be more able to unite the wings of this party than he is.
Yeah, that was my question, Nancy. I mean, there was such a push by senior Republicans for Ryan to run. I guess it's because they really feel that he is the only one in that esteemed body that can sort of unite those Tea Party caucus members with more mainstream Republicans?
Yes, because he is a very conservative Republican himself. And typically, he's the kind of person that conservatives would be thrilled to have as Speaker. You know, he has proposed drastically cutting the budget, cutting social programs like food stamps. He's proposed changing Medicare into a voucher program. So by no means is he a moderate Republican. On the other hand, he has worked with Democrats in the past. He argued again last night that you have to work with the other side to get something done. That is just the reality of our political process. That's a reality of democracy. And he says he wants to get big things done if he's the Speaker, and that Americans view Congress, and by extension the Republicans in Congress, as part of the problem right now instead of the solution. And if he's going to be Speaker, he wants to be part of the solution. But that does raise red flags for some of these hardline conservatives who often view any deal that Democrats are willing to accept as not good enough.
Nancy, before you go, what's next in this process? What can we expect to happen today?
Well, House Freedom Caucus members are already saying they want to talk to Paul Ryan again. They met with him briefly yesterday, and they say they still have a lot of questions. They are not going to roll over easily here. If he's not going to meet their demands, they at least want to talk to him more about his vision. They want to hear more specifically from him what he will do as Speaker, what he won't do. They want to be convinced that he is going to look out for the interests not just of the 200 Republicans in the party who seem to stick together most of the time, but for them as well. And if they are satisfied, then perhaps they will get behind him. I don't think you'll ever see all 40 of them get behind him. There will still be some who always hold out, no matter what, who are going to say he's not conservative enough. But the question is, can enough of them get behind him by Friday that he can be assured that when he goes to the House floor, when they hold this vote, that he will get 218 members of Congress behind him. He said he doesn't want to be the third log on the fire. He doesn't want to go the way of House Speaker John Boehner or of House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy, who tried to lead, tried to step up, only to find out that because this group of conservative Republicans was not behind them, they just simply were not going to be able to keep or get the votes that they need to be Speaker.
All right, Nancy Cordes, thank you very much.
You're welcome.